The air was hot and thick with smoke. Blasts lit the sky. Troops ran across cracked ground. Ships roared above, dropping fire on both sides. It had started fast. No warning, no reason. Just War. Captain Darius Kane, a human soldier, crouched behind. A piece of metal wreckage. His uniform was torn. Blood from a cut on his cheek dripped slowly down, but he didn't care. His eyes watched the battlefield. His fingers gripped his old rifle like it was the only thing he had left. 3 hours ago. He was just guarding a trade station near the outer colonies. Then the attack came. A full alien fleet from the Vaelari Empire striking without reason. No declaration. No demand. Just fire. Just death. The Vaelari were strange and proud. Tall, beautiful, and dangerous. Their armor was bright, and their ships looked like floating art, but their weapons were real. Sharp, cold, merciless. Kane saw his squad fall, one by one. Some burned. Some vanished under plasma blasts. He kept moving, kept fighting. And now he was the last one left. Suddenly, a shadow passed over him. He rolled, gun up, ready to shoot, but it wasn't a fighter. It was a royal cruiser Vaelari. Design, sleek and golden, with a glowing underbelly. It hovered low, then opened. A beam of light shot down. Kane aimed his rifle, but paused. From the beam, a girl floated down. Not a soldier, not even armored. A young Vaelari, maybe 16 in human years. Her long silver hair fell around a jeweled crown. Her dress shimmered with energy. Her face was calm, bored, even smug. She landed like a goddess, surrounded by guards. Kane's eye twitched. What was a royal girl doing in a war zone? One of the alien guards stepped forward. "You will lower your weapon. Her Highness wishes to speak." Kane stayed silent. His finger didn't move from the trigger. He was done taking orders. The alien girl stepped forward herself, ignoring her guards. She walked slowly, like she owned the land. "So," she said, her voice soft but sharp. "You are the last one, the stubborn one." Kane didn't answer. She looked him up and down like he was dirt. "You are dirty, small, weak-looking, yet you kept fighting when others fell. Why?" Still nothing from Kane. She raised a brow. "I am Princess Alira of House Vaelari, heir to the Vaelari throne. You should kneel." Kane stood up slowly. "I don't kneel," he said. Her guards flinched. Some raised weapons. But she raised her hand, stopping them. "How strange," she said, tilting her head. So much pride, so much human arrogance. She took another step closer. "You people talk of honor, freedom, love, but your cities are loud and broken. Your weapons are ugly. Your ships smell like grease." Kane didn't blink. "You think you're brave," she went on. "But to us you are animals with shiny toys." She leaned in closer, her golden eyes locking onto his. "You are nothing." Then she smiled. That smile, cold, royal, mocking, was too much. Kane looked at her for a long second. Then, without a word, he turned his back and walked away. No shout, no threat, no anger. Just silence. The guards looked confused. "Shall we stop him, Highness?" one asked, but the girl raised her hand again. "No," she said quietly. "Let him go." But her eyes stayed on his back, watching him walk away across the dust and fire like he didn't care about her crown or her words. Like she didn't matter, and something inside her shifted. The battlefield was still burning, but Kane didn't look back. He didn't need to. That moment said everything. And the war had only just begun. The fire was behind him, but Kane could still feel it. Every step he took across the broken field reminded him that the war wasn't over. He didn't care who that alien girl was. Royal or not, she acted like the galaxy belonged to her. But he had seen too much to bow now. He hadn't walked far before a small shuttle, half buried under debris, came into view. It was human design. probably from another squad. Kane climbed inside and pulled the hatch shut. The ship's power core still worked barely. He ran a scan. All systems damaged. No long-range comms. Only one thruster had power. But the nav computer blinked with a weak signal. One human ship still in orbit. Kane sat down and started repairs. His hands were steady, his face calm. But his mind kept going back to that alien girl's voice, her smile. Her words, "You are nothing." He let out a slow breath. "We'll see," he muttered. Meanwhile, above the battlefield, on the Royal Vaelari cruiser, Princess Alira stood in silence. Her guards waited for orders. But she said nothing. She was still thinking about the human. He had turned his back on her. No one ever had. Not nobles, not slaves, not soldiers. No one had ever looked at her like that, with no fear, no respect, and no interest. It made her feel strange. She sat in her chamber, watching a replay of the moment on a glowing screen. His eyes, his silence. The way he walked away like her words meant nothing. Why didn't he answer? She asked aloud. Her servant blinked. "Forgive me, Highness." He didn't argue. He didn't fight back, he just walked away. The servant lowered her eyes. "He is human. Their ways are emotional, unstable." Alira frowned. He wasn't unstable, he was calm. She stood and paced. Back in the shuttle. Kane managed to restart the engine. It gave off a groan, but lit up blue. He set a course for the last human signal low orbit. As the shuttle lifted into the smoky sky, sensors caught movement behind him. Kane looked at the screen. A Vaelari drone. "Of course," he said, annoyed. He slammed the throttle. The shuttle jerked and shot forward. The drone followed. Kane dodged between broken buildings and burning trees. The drone fired once, missed. Fired again, hit the wing. The whole ship shook. "Hold together," he said through gritted teeth. He pulled a hard turn, dropped altitude, and passed under a broken bridge. The drone clipped the edge and exploded. Kane didn't cheer. He just breathed. But now he knew. They were watching him. On her cruiser, Alira had seen everything. Her face was blank, but her heart was not. "You followed him?" "Yes, Highness," her guard replied. "Standard recon protocol." "We did not engage." "He destroyed the drone." "Yes, with an old ship." "No upgrades." Alira sat down slowly. "Can a man with no armor, no backup, and no command be so calm?" No one answered. She looked at the image of the shuttle rising through the clouds. "I want to know more about him." One guard blinked. "He is not important, Highness. Just a common soldier." "He made me feel something," she said quietly. The room fell silent. Back in orbit, Kane's shuttle docked with a human corvette. It was damaged too, but working. Inside, a small crew of survivors greeted him, tired faces. "Bloody uniforms, you made it," the captain said. "Barely," Kane replied. "Where's command?" "Gone. HQ's gone dark. Fleet scattered." Kane nodded. "Then we start again." He didn't smile, didn't rest. He sat down at the terminal and pulled up the Vaelari symbols. He remembered her face, her crown, her words. "You are nothing." But her eyes said something else. Something confused. Something curious. "She'll remember me," he said. And deep in space, in her golden ship, Alira whispered almost the same words. "I won't forget him." 2 days passed. The war hadn't slowed. If anything, it had grown louder, darker. The humans had pulled back. Small forces were hiding in corners of space, trying to survive. Kane stayed aboard the damaged corvette, now turned into a command base for survivors. But his mind wasn't only on war anymore. He couldn't forget her face, not because she was royal, not because she insulted him, but because when he turned away, she didn't stop him. And something in her eyes behind all that pride felt strange. Like doubt. He replayed the footage from the shuttle's recorder, again and again. The moment she looked at him with anger, then something softer. Confusion, curiosity, even pain? Why? Back on the Vaelari flagship, Princess Illyra paced in her chambers. Her crown sat on a pillow, untouched. Her dress was plain today. Her mind was heavy. She had met hundreds of humans through the war, weak, loud, obedient when caught. But not him. Not Darius Kane. He was the only one who didn't beg or shout. He didn't flinch. He didn't fight. He just walked away. And somehow, that hurt more than any insult. Illyra called for her personal AI. The glowing orb floated into the room. Pull all human military records for a soldier named Darius Kane. Confirmed, said the AI. Search completed. Records. Found, soldier, Captain Darius Kane. Status missing. Presumed dead after first contact with Vaelari fleet. He's not dead. Correct. His shuttle was recorded escaping surface level 3 rotations ago. Illyra's eyes narrowed. Where is he now? His last location was near the asteroid base Sector 9, now used by human survivors. She stared at the screen. Open a channel, she said. Highness, direct contact with enemy personnel violates diplomatic. Open it. Private channel. No recording. There was silence. Then a soft beep. Darius Kane was reviewing maps in the command room when the screen on his left blinked. The signal was strange. Not from human tech. He tapped it. The screen lit up with a soft, golden glow. And there she was, the alien princess. Her hair was down, no crown, no guards. Just her. His hand froze over the controls. He stared. She didn't speak first. Neither did he. Finally, she broke the silence. You remember me? I try not to. She tilted her head. But you do. Kane said nothing. I wanted to speak to you. Why? I don't know. Kane looked around. Is this some trick? A trap? No, just a talk. He leaned back, arms crossed. You insulted me. Called my people animals. Illyra looked down. Yes, and now you want to talk? She nodded. Because I can't forget how you walked away. Kane frowned. You didn't argue. Didn't yell. You treated me like I didn't matter. And I'm not used to that. That's because you think your crown gives you power over everyone. Her voice was quiet. Doesn't it? Kane shook his head. Not over me. Silence fell between them. She looked at him carefully. You're different. You're not what I expected either, he admitted. They stared at each other for a long moment. Then she said something that surprised them both. Would you meet me? Kane's eyes narrowed. You're joking. No, one place, neutral, no weapons. Just a talk. Why? I want to understand. Kane paused. Then leaned forward. You insulted me. You started this war. I didn't start it, she said softly. It was never my choice. His jaw tightened. I'll think about it. The screen blinked off. In her chamber, Illyra let out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. On the human ship, Kane sat still, staring at the dark screen. Something was changing. He didn't trust her. Not yet, but part of him wanted to see what she truly was without the crown. The cold moon of Velas 7 was far from the main war zones. Once used for mining, it was now forgotten, empty, silent, and neutral. That made it the perfect place for a meeting. Kane landed his shuttle first. He stepped out, wearing only a basic uniform and no weapons. He had left his rifle behind, though every part of him wanted it strapped to his back. But this wasn't a fight. Not yet. His boots crunched softly on the gray surface. The wind was light. The sky above was black and full of stars. He waited. Second ship arrived. Sleek, golden, and silent. The door opened slowly, and Princess Illyra stepped down. She wasn't wearing her crown, just a soft silver cloak over a simple white dress. Her hair was tied back. Her golden eyes met his. Neither spoke at first. Then she walked closer. Carefully. Her guards were nowhere in sight. Kane looked around once, then returned his gaze to her. "You came," she said. They stood a few feet apart. "I didn't think you would agree," she said. "Neither did I." Elira looked up at the stars. "When I was younger, I used to think humans were wild, dangerous, dirty. That's what they teach us, that we're better in every way. But I watched you. I listened to your silence, and now I feel unsure." Kane kept his arms crossed. "You insulted me in front of your soldiers, and now you want a soft talk under the stars?" She turned toward him. "I was raised to lead, to speak like I'm above. But when you didn't answer me, when you walked away, it made me question everything. No one ever ignored me like that. Maybe someone should have." She almost smiled. They walked slowly along the rocky ground. "I read your file," she said. "You served on 10 planets, fought 3 major battles. You earned 2 medals but refused to collect them. I don't fight for medals." "Then why do you fight?" Kane didn't answer right away. He looked at the stars. "Because if I don't, people I care about die." She nodded. "Same, is it?" Elira's eyes lowered. "Maybe not. I live in comfort. You live in war. But I didn't ask for that comfort. I was born into it. And I was born where people like you give orders that ruin lives." They stopped walking. "You think I'm your enemy," she said. "You think I'm below you." Elira looked into his eyes. "Not anymore." Kane stared at her for a moment. She looked different now, softer. Her pride was still there, but something else had grown behind her voice. Doubt, and maybe respect. He stepped back. "What do you want from me?" "I want to understand," she said. "And maybe, I want you to understand me too." He shook his head. "Your royalty, I'm a soldier, will never be the same." "Maybe that's true," she said. "But we don't have to be the same to talk." A silence stretched between them again. Not cold, just uncertain. Then Kane said, "The war won't stop because we had a talk. I know." "So what happens next?" Elira looked down. "I return to my ship. You return to yours. But maybe next time we don't shoot first." Kane nodded once. "Maybe." She took a step back. "Will you come if I ask again?" He looked at her, unsure. "Maybe." She smiled this time just a little. "Then I'll ask." She turned and walked back to her shuttle. He didn't stop her. She didn't look back. But both of them felt something different inside now, and neither knew what to do with it. The next few days moved like a storm. Battles continued in other parts of the galaxy. Fleets clashed. Soldiers fell. But on Velas 7, something quiet had begun. A second meeting. Then a third. Each time Kane and Elira met without guards, without weapons. They spoke about war, duty, and the worlds they both came from. They didn't trust each other, not fully. But they listened. And something rare grew in that silence. Elira told him about her life in the Golden Palace. Always watched. Always expected to be perfect. Her voice had to be soft. Her smile had to be flawless. Her mind had to follow the rules. Kane told her about losing friends in the dirt. About the weight of command when there was no one left to follow. He didn't dress up his words. He didn't hide the pain. "I never knew a human could think like this," she told him. "I never knew a royal could feel like this," he said back. But it couldn't stay hidden forever. One night, Kane returned to his ship after their meeting. His commander, Captain Soren, was waiting, arms crossed, eyes hard. "You've been leaving the ship often," Soren said. "No patrol orders, no reports. Why?" Kane didn't answer. Soren stepped closer. "I tracked the signal. You've been meeting someone. Not just anyone, her. The princess." Kane's jaw clenched. "She's not what you think." "She's the enemy," Soren growled. "If command finds out, you'll be court-martialed. Or worse. She's trying to stop the war." "No," Soren snapped. "She's learning from you. gathering secrets. You think it's personal? It's a trick. Kane didn't move. You have two choices, Soren said. Cut all contact, or leave this ship. Kane looked down, then turned away. The next day, Elira received a message on her private line. No meeting tonight. It's not safe. She stared at the words for a long time, then deleted the message. Her hands were cold, her heart heavy. She walked into the royal council chamber where her father, the emperor, stood with advisors. All of them spoke of war, new ships, new attacks. Father, she said, there may be another way. He looked at her, eyes sharp. The humans are losing, he said. Now is not the time to show mercy. They're not all the same. Some of them want peace. The room fell quiet. He stepped forward. Is this about the human you met on the battlefield? Her eyes widened. You knew? We watched the footage, your reaction, his silence. We've been observing since. And you let me keep meeting him, to see how far it would go. She swallowed hard. Then you know he isn't lying. The emperor's voice grew cold. He's dangerous. He makes you question your place. He makes you weak. He makes me think, she said, louder now. And maybe I need that. He stared at her, then turned to his guards. Prepare the ship, he said. We attack their base within 2 days. No delays. Elira stepped forward. That will kill him. That is the point. She shook her head. You don't understand. He walked away from me, not because he hated us. Because he didn't want to be like us. That takes strength. The emperor's voice was sharp now. And what would you have me do, daughter? Let him live? Invite him into our court? I would have you see what I saw, she said. Not an enemy. A person. You sound like a traitor. Then so be it. His hand raised, ready to strike, but he didn't single quotes to dot. He turned away. You will not see him again. Elira stood frozen, her throat tight. She left the room without another word. Far away, Kane sat in silence on the edge of the hangar bay. The stars above felt colder now. The war was tightening around them. Every part of him wanted to believe she was different, but belief didn't stop bombs. He closed his eyes. Somewhere out there, she was probably being watched too. And maybe, just maybe, she was hurting like he was. Asterisk. The sky above Sector 9 was no longer quiet. A massive Vaelari fleet had arrived. Warships blocked out the stars. Human forces scrambled. Kane stood on the main deck of the corvette, watching red alerts blink across every screen. She warned us, Kane said quietly. Commander. Soren was near him, armored and grim. Then maybe she played you after all. No, Kane said. This isn't her choice. This is her father. Outside, fighters launched. Defense turrets fired. The humans were outnumbered, but not broken. They fought back, but Kane wasn't thinking about strategy. He was thinking about her. Princess Elira stood on the bridge of the royal flagship, her hands clenched at her sides. Her father stood above all, giving orders. Destroy the base. Show them our power. Elira looked down at the glowing war map. One dot was flashing, one ship. Kane. She stepped forward. Father, I must speak. No. You'll kill civilians' families. The weak must fall. She looked around. The officers wouldn't speak against the emperor, but someone had to. I won't let you destroy him. She ran from the chamber. Guards followed, but not fast enough. She reached the escape wing, stole a fast pod, and launched. Before they could stop her, her ship raced toward the human corvette unarmed, glowing only with a single signal. Peace. On the corvette, alarms rang. Unknown craft approaching, someone shouted. Vaelari pod. No weapons detected. Kane rushed to the screen. He knew. That's her. Soren grabbed his arm. She's a threat. No, she's the only reason we're still alive. Kane ran. Outside, the pod landed on the deck. Cain opened the bay doors himself. And there she was alone, breathing hard, eyes wide. "You came," he said. "I had to." Behind them, the sky thundered. The battle grew closer. "We can't stop." "The fleet," Cain said. "Yes, we can." She handed him a small device. "This is a command code. Linked to my voice. We can send a signal directly to my father's flagship force a ceasefire. But I have to be there when it's sent." Cain stared at her. "You'd stand against your own?" "I'm not standing against them," she said. "I'm standing for what's right." They locked eyes. No crown, no armor, just two people in the middle of a storm. Then they ran. Together, they launched a stealth ship and flew straight through the chaos. Fire lit the skies. Missiles passed too close. Cain swerved, ducked, pushed. The engine harder than ever. And they made it. Inside the Vaelari flagship, they landed in the underbay. Guards rushed them, then froze when they saw Alira. She raised her voice. "Stand down. I am your princess. I carry royal authority." The guards hesitated, then lowered their weapons. Cain and Alira stormed the command tower. The Emperor turned, shocked. "You dare return with the human?" "I return with hope," she said. "End this war, now." "You shame me." "No," she said. "I finally make my own choice." She stepped forward, raised a device, and spoke clearly into it. "Emergency override. Ceasefire. Voice command. Princess Alira Vaelari." All screens went dark. Then green. Across the sky, Vaelari ships powered down weapons. The fighting stopped. Slowly. Carefully. The war was over, for now. Back on Villa 7, Cain and Alira stood in silence. No guns. No fire, just wind. "I still don't understand you," Cain said. She smiled. "You don't have to. You just have to trust me." "Do you trust me?" "I think I already did." He looked at her, not as a princess, not as a royal enemy, but as someone who had risked everything. And she looked at him, not as a soldier, not as a threat, but as someone who had walked away with pride and come back with heart. Two paths, once divided by war, now walking forward together.